Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It has been quite a strenuous drive on 288. Why is it that freight trucks, the people that drive them, why do they drive it like they own the whole road and they speed up right behind you, so if you do need to slam on brakes, you're gonna die? Or they like to race you. I drive a Chevy HHR. If I push this poor thing to its limits, it's going to beat the semi. Semis are heavier. Dude-Man was driving it like it was a Honda. You don't do that with freight trucks. No wonder a lot of people's stuff in the when I would unload freight at Walmart. No wonder our stuff was broken, busted, or destroyed. It's no wonder. Because you got idiots driving them like they're freaking little souped up Honda Civics. Let's think. Peterbilt? Honda. They're the same thing, right? No. Dead wrong. You jackknife your load, you're gonna have an accident, you're gonna wipe everyone out on the road. But nobody cares, right? You first, right? Now this is gonna conclude on the topic we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about how the me first mentality that 98% of everyone in the world has. The me first mentality is destroying the world. It's destroying the economy. It's destroying our livelihoods, our lives, our planet, and probably our universe if I want to go that far. But thank God we haven't mastered space exploration. Because if we did, we would be spreading that everywhere else. Let's just keep us in quarantine because we're not fit. But the me first mentality, I mean, we've seen it all. Here's some reminders. Like this jackwagon driving through the parking lot. Like these lines are not there for any reason. Yeah, I'm talking about you. The Black Friday, the me first mentality, run rampant. Now, us as human beings, we're made to fight, but we're made to make peace. A lot of people don't have an outlet for their carnal, primitive nature. We don't have an outlet. Video games pretty much quell it to some point. Working out, we have to exercise. Everyone is made to exercise, but we don't do it because it's in our nature to run, to fight, to use those muscles. We don't really have an outlet. Think about it. Our ancestors fought and hunted and did all kinds of things, and we got people trying to say that we're not made for violence. We're animals. We can choose. We have the power to choose. We can choose to be violent, or we can choose to be peaceful. That is completely up to the individual. But when you try to make people be subjugated to your claims of peace, we are natural rebels. There are those that are just natural rebels, and we have to rebel. Even if it's something like a label on the back of a product, we're like, do not eat this before blah, blah, blah. Screw you. So, we can't help it. Oh, that's a nice vehicle. we have that natural thing about us where we have to. Sometimes acting out a little bit. It's just what the doctor orders, right? For the most part. I miss playing contact sports. I have played football before. And I do really well with it. Especially in the position of a linebacker. Or a wide line receiver. But something about the satisfaction of tackling people, plummeting them down into the ground, and then go, boom, ah! Something about that. I don't know. I miss karate. We play fight all the time. Well, they call it sparring. But if you were to just walk up to me and say, let's fight, I'm not going to want to. Because I've chosen to be peaceful. I've chosen a better path. And I reserve the violence and the offensive and defensive mode, the fight mode. I reserve that for occasions where it is needed, because I know far too well how badly I can hurt somebody, and I do black out. So when somebody wants me to fight them, they just walk up to me like, fight me. I'm like, you don't want to do this. Those are the first words that are coming out of my mouth. You don't want to do this. You do not want to do this. No, because they're going to be the ones ending up hurt. And I know it. I know my capabilities, but they don't know my capabilities. We only know our own capabilities. So if they can hurt me, okay. But is it really worth it? If I had to choose between fighting, if I had to choose between fighting and not, I would choose not. Because I know that I was in a position in the past where someone tried to hurt me, force himself on me, and they said that they were going to kill me afterwards. So I chose myself. I chose to protect myself, and they're not here anymore. They're gone. I'm sorry that they felt they had to do it, but I'm not sorry that I'm alive, breathing today. But this me first mentality brings the worst out of us. And by God, he had it bad. There is a good me first mentality to have, which is the self-preservation, protecting yourself. You know, that is the me first mentality that it should only be precedent on. But when it comes to the me first mentality, I mean, you got this jackwagon driving through a parking lot again. Like, screw you. No lines. That's the me first mentality that people have. He raced all the way over there, which is the entrance of the parking lot, all the way to the handicap spot, the first spot, so he can have a close spot. Me first mentality, folks, that is very toxic. What if, and he was speeding, so what if somebody happened to get out of their car and not realize he was speeding as fast as he was, and he hits him? Would he have stopped? Would he have kept going and get that parking spot and, you know, ignored it? Or would he have, what would he have done? I'm seeing a lot of me first mentality, especially when people drive, because people drive offensively. And that's how accidents start. We are so wrapped up in us getting there first, us getting there sooner, us beating the clock. Me first. We even do the me first mentality when it comes to the darn clock. I want to get there before 2 o'clock. So you're in competition with time. That doesn't make sense. Or the folks that weave in and out of cars just to get there first at a red light. Why? You're gonna have to stop like the rest of us. You're risking other people's safety and yours just to get there first at a red light. That doesn't make any sense. It's like people that are racing to their death. They don't see it. But they want to be the person that drinks the most, smokes the most, parties the most. This competitive state is going to kill us. It will. Nobody seems to realize it. Nobody seems to care either. And it's a crying shame. It's terrible. If we all work together, we can accomplish great things. If we stop competing against strangers, chances are the world would be a better place, especially if we stop thinking of ourselves all the time, which, a little bit of self-care and treating yourself is not a bad thing. Balance the competitive flair you got. Balance yourself and others. It's all about balance. A little bit of something is not going to hurt you. Now, overindulgence, that's where things get dangerous. Like, critically dangerous. But, it's one of those things. When it feels good, you kind of want it to always feel good. It's kind of hard to stop. And that goes for pretty much anything in our life. That cold, crisp, fresh taste of a soft drink, soda. Too much of it, you'll have some problems. Too much of it's not good for you. Or let's talk about something a little more well known. That one cigarette. It's not going to hurt you. It'll be uncomfortable at first. But then you have another. And another. And another. And another. Now, too much of that will surely give you either heart disease or lung cancer. Alcohol. One glass here and there. Believe it or not, the fermentation of alcohol of any kind it's like poison to the body. But one glass of it, you're fine. But as you start getting drunk, poisoning yourself to the point where it's like, and the throwing up part is a warning stage that you're overdoing it. Too much of it can kill you. Alcohol poisoning is a thing. So pretty much. Now there are some things that are just downright bad for you and you should stay away from. But it's all about balance when it comes to the me first mentality and the not so me first. The do for others. We've got extremes walking around here. We've got people that's always them first, nobody else. I see mothers that treat their kids like that. It's the mom, she's like, it's me first and then my kids. It's just, we have people that walk around here and they do for others to the point where they're empty. They have nothing left to give. They solely live for other people. Not that it's very selfless and noble, but there comes a time where it gets to be too much. Too much. And when that happens, that's when you need to stop and replenish and take care of yourself. And we have those me firsters coming after those people that do for others that pretty much feed off them like leeches. Me, 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 me. And that person that does for others, they're just an empty husk after a while. And it's very sad to see. Very sad to see. Because I've seen a lot of people that live for others, do for others, until they just fell apart. And then when they realized that nobody was reciprocating, they put everyone them first. And then they get upset when nobody puts them first for a change. And then they're just like, you know what, screw y'all, me first. Then you have broken a person that does for others. When you break a person like that, it is so extraordinarily hard for them to go back to that, to what they were. Like, do for others, do for others. When I was a child, I was me first. I didn't understand the concept of selfishness. When I got older, I became I do for others. Living like that throughout my teenagerhood and young adulthood, it was terrible. I fell into a really dark place, and I had nothing left to give, and I had people still with their hands out to me. Like, give me your time, give me your attention, give me some money. Do you have any clothes I can use? Give me some food. Which I loved doing for people, but when it came to a point where I had nothing but the clothes on my back, I couldn't do for others like I wanted. So I said, look, I have nothing. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Some understood. The selfish ones, the me firsters, they didn't understand it. They didn't want to understand it. They was like, well, I understand you don't want to, you're just being very selfish. You have all this time. Yeah, but I would like to deal with my crap. That's all. Just give me some time. Especially when I was sick. I knew someone that I was really sick, and they would just randomly show up at my house and pack all my medicine and stuff. And they said, "You're coming with me." I'm like, "I'm tired. Leave me alone." "No, you're coming with me. You need to get out of here." I'm like, "I'm sick. I need to stay home and sleep." So, the me first mentality, we've got to really think about hypotheticals. If you want to figure out if you're a me firster, choose these three people. A stranger, and then give it some sub-context, like a stranger who's a child, an infant, an elderly person, or just a person. Doesn't matter what gender. use those factors and ask yourself, if I had a bag of food, now if there was a bag of food just sitting there, it could be any kind of food. If there was like, you know, who should have some of the food? Let's say you've got 3 people. Who would be the people? So you do a stranger. Right? Would it be the stranger that you don't know? Who is either one of those infant, child, teenager, adult and elderly, stranger, a family member, doesn't matter which one, or someone you really hate. Now the question is, who would get the food? Or you? Now if you choose A, you give it to the stranger, you are thoughtful. If you give it to the family, then you have a tight niche of family. That means you are willing to sacrifice everything for your family. You're loyal. Now if you would give it to your best friend, then you're just caring. But if you choose yourself, you're definitely going to be first mentality. Now if you choose to share a little bit with everybody, then you're a team player. And you're very giving. So, anyways, if you want to hear anything more or want to discuss anything, please like and share. And don't forget, your subscription, you subscribing is very important to me, and I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a good day, and I wish everyone has a really good day, and love and light to you all.